email me and they're like, bro, this is what you need for...
Looking to maybe do the front PTO outfit.
How many miles are on this thing? Oh my gosh. And you found... We hope you all had a wonderful new year, and we hope you all are eagerly anticipating the new year ahead of us. Here at Red Poppy Ranch, we are still grinding, trying to get this roof stretch done, then get the generator tied in, so we can move on to maybe some inside projects. This is a carbide tipped blade. This blade was, I think, $24 for 3. There goes, $8. I don't know how many hundreds of times I've broke the tip off of a Sawzall blade that was still usable. All you engineers out there, here's my gift from me to you. Figure out a stamp, male, female stamp, that a guy could hit with a hammer or press with something that would stamp out that detail onto this blade. Every contractor, every subcontractor would have that tool sitting in their toolbox. Necessity has always been the mother of all invention. In my past life as a plumber, I don't know how many times I had a situation that called for a very specific tool that I more than likely didn't have in that moment, which required some out-of-the-box thinking to get the job done. Many years later, I still think about that Sawzall punch and how nice it would be to keep some of these expensive Sawzall blades out of the recycle pile. In the meantime, what I'm doing is taking a 12-foot 2x6, running it parallel to the top of the existing shop truss. Then I'm putting another 2x6 up against that 2x6, and I will use a mending plate to attach it to the truss. This roof will only end up being about 10 feet long, so the 2x6s should be more than adequate. I have spent more time in the plow truck this early this year than I ever have before. It looks like we finally found a replacement plow truck, but it needs a little bit of work before I put it in the fleet. But if the snow continues like this, I really need to be done with these bigger outside projects. I still have the chicken coop and the goat pen to finish, and I should be able to do that under the new barn roof. Our oldest son, Rhett, has been earning some extra money working through the shop. And the good part about having him do this is he has spent enough time along my side. He typically knows what tools are what and where the tools are supposed to go. Over winter break, while the kids have been at home, Rhett has been organizing and cleaning the shop, while I've been working on whatever outside project that I happen to be working on at that time. So as we continue to get more and more snow, the plan is to be able to get back on the inside of that shop and get out of the weather. Bye, love you. Come on, Rube. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Ruby and I are gonna go make a couple of passes up and down the road and clean the road up. And then I'm gonna drive Rhett's new truck, his long bed Power Stroke, down and pick up the final materials that I need for the back of the shop. I'm short some 2x6s and some 10, and his truck doesn't have a toolbox or anything in it yet, so I can haul longer stuff in it with less issues than my my dually. But the real issue is there's so much snow now, I can't get the trailer out until the snow's gone. Because it's just too hard to get back up. So we're gonna go hit the road a few times, see if we can't make the road safe, and then go get some materials.
He thinks he found the perfect truck.
Isn't that funny?
Yes.
I didn't say perfect truck, the right truck.
Oh, the right truck for plowing, yes. Because the other truck...
This truck...
Stinking up my laundry room.
Stinking up your laundry room. This truck is the truck that I've just kind of always been looking for. It's a 1990 or maybe an 89 Ford F350, which means the front axle is a solid axle. It is a dually. Yeah.
I don't know why he seems to be attracted to these dualies all the time.
One-ton trucks, regular cab one-ton trucks are often, well, number one, people don't get rid of them, but when they do, they're not cheap. And so I'm gonna have to pay more for this truck. It supposedly has a brand new motor, and it also has the manual transmission, which is that ZF5 5-speed manual transmission. It's just a heavy-duty truck. It's what they call a brick nose.
Dualies would be perfect for pulling a boat.
Did I say that? I'm attracted, or did Mom say that? I'm attracted to dualies. I like old diesels, and this is, and it's fairly close. It's about an hour away, but for as much money as the guy wants for the truck, I'm gonna be kind of picky. And if it's not right, it's not right. But again, it is a one-ton regular cab, long bed. It would be perfect plow truck. That Dana 60 solid front axle is the solution to Ford's twin I-beam front end, which doesn't like a snowplow hanging off it. So anyway,
you can buy me a boat. You can buy me a truck.
I'll buy the truck to pull it. I'm not buying a boat. No.
What about a Yeti?
Yeah, I may get you a Yeti one of these days. the truck had a whole lot of rust and
no boat.
and no boat. And I get it. It's a diesel. It's a 7.3 IDI. It's a manual transmission. It's a 1 ton, so it does have that Dana 60. But there's so much rust in the cab that it's not fixable. And if I'm going to spend as much as he wants for it, I feel like there might be some better stuff out there, which is a bummer. After looking at a couple of different trucks, I got a voicemail from a friend of mine that said he thinks he has the truck I'm looking for up at his place.
I've been watching you ever since you decided you were going to buy that place.
Okay, so I met Ivan probably 4 years ago.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. And Ivan's been holding out on me for 5 years. I'm a little disappointed in him. He's got this old F350 that I'm gonna buy from him. 7.3 IDI. It's the diesel I want. Manual transmission. This is an 87, so it doesn't have the 5-speed, which is the ZF5. This has a 4-speed, but it's still a really heavy-duty transmission. For a plow truck, this will be perfect. It's a single wheel. I mean, it really is perfect. We're gonna go take it for a drive real quick up and down the road, but I'm fairly certain I want this truck. Okay, we are in 2-wheel drive.
No.
We're in 4-wheel drive.
We're in 4-low.
4-low. Locked in everything?
Yeah.
Okay, parking brake. So that's how fast that's how low that thing's geared right there.
That's right. Those are.
Yeah, you guys got a little snow right here, don't you?
We do, a little bit.
Solid axle 7.3 IDI with 155,000 original miles. He only wants 8 goats for it. And a whole bunch of something else. Anyhow, all right, Ivan. Me and Red will come up tomorrow. See ya. It's a good thing I just bought it, I guess. Really, the only thing that I could see that it needs right away is a set of tires, but there's no rust on that truck. That transmission will handle what I'm trying to do, so I'm gonna get a set of tires for that truck. I'm gonna get that plow installed in that truck, make sure everything's good to go and start using it, and then hopefully at some point maybe put that red plow truck up for sale. Yeah. Email me and they're like, bro, this is what you need for...
Looking to maybe do the front PTO outfit.
How many miles are on this thing? Oh gosh, and you found... I told Ivan I wanted to buy that truck. So tomorrow I'll take my oldest son, Rhett, and we'll run down there and get it. In the meantime, I'm really trying to get this roof dried in this weekend. The snow is just not stopping. I've had a little break in the last probably 4 days of plowing, but this is the most snow we've ever had before New Year's Eve. We've never had this kind of snow before. When I went and looked at Ivan's truck, I could see my friend Brent up on the hill, who also happens to live off-grid with his wife and kids. I could see him pushing snow with his Unimog, and I'd completely forgotten that he had it. In the last couple of weeks, I don't know how many people have sent me a message with some sort of a picture of a Unimog and a plow, or a Unimog and a blower. And had I recognized how good those Mercedes Unimogs would be at something like this, I probably would have found some project for a reasonable price, but now, like everything else, a $10,000 to $15,000 Unimog is 40 grand. I think I'll stick with the F350 for a while, but it was sure fun to see Brent's Unimog getting the job done. I'm still not officially done looking for the next plow truck. I think this F350 from Ivan will last a while, but I have other things in the back of my head that I'm seriously considering, and I don't have a ton of room for parking extra vehicles, so I'm thinking about a multi-use vehicle. I'll keep this F350 and make it plow worthy and use it for a while, but I'm seriously thinking about picking up an older Isuzu NPR or a Mitsubishi Fuso and first putting a dump bed on that truck, but then possibly building that into a 4x4 plow truck. I don't know why, but the idea of sitting right over the front of the plow in one of those cab-over diesels seems like it would give me a great perspective while I'm plowing snow. Those Isuzu NPRs or the Mitsubishi Fusos are typically around a 2-ton or sometimes even more. But I happened to watch a show where a couple of guys converted one of those Mitsubishi Fusos into a 4-wheel drive vehicle. And I have a bit of a love-hate relationship with those trucks because I spent so many years in them as a service plumber. But they're heavy duty enough to where I could put a dump bed on the back that I could use for gravel and then plow snow in the wintertime. That would be a poor man's Unimog in my book.
Reed, do you want to come see what Grandpa Phil got us?
Oh, no, we can make a little snowman now.
Oh, cute.
These are the rubber duck one. Let's try to see if we can break that.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys tell Grandpa Phil and Grandma Carol?
Thank you. I can't, it's just thick.
There you go.
Look, I'm so We're gonna play capture the flag.
That's awesome.
Well, here, I make it like. Watch, so get like this. Smash it. Smash it. Rub it.
Wow. This means war, buddy.
Okay, we can put that face skin on after this.
No.
Why?
Oh,
mine's green! Put them in snow.
We got back home without any issues. It needs a set of tires. I don't even want to drive it on the tires that are on it. I'm going to start the process of mounting that new Blizzard snowplow that I have on this truck. And the truck only has 150,000 original miles on it. Actually the odometer says 55,000, whatever it says. But it tracks down the road like it It definitely doesn't have any more than 150 on it. It's tight. It's tighter than my Dodge is. I'm gonna go through the process of changing out the old glow plugs with new glow plugs. I might even throw a set of injectors in it and just get it tip top. And then the other thing I have to do is I have to know that on the coldest of days, for instance, right now it's about 11 degrees outside. It's supposed to be -4 overnight, I think is the low, maybe even a little lower than that. And if I had to come and plow snow, I gotta know that the thing is gonna start, and that is the hardest part about these old diesels, is getting them to start on cold days. So batteries, glow plugs, injectors, I'll probably go through the fuel system and replace a bunch of old dried out lines. But anyway, it's an old truck. The irony is, a few days after I shot this video, the temperatures here at our place got well below zero. As our family jumped in 2 separate vehicles to go to church Sunday afternoon, it finally happened. About halfway to our destination, my truck died on the side of the road. I knew exactly what it was. At noonday, the temperature was 4 degrees. I knew the diesel was gelling up in my fuel system. I shot a text to Cedar. I asked her to hand the keys over to our oldest son, Rhett, and I told Rhett where I was at. Rhett then proceeded to help me tow my truck home. So at this exact moment, we have 5 vehicles sitting in our driveway. 4 of them are diesel. 3 of those diesels, I'm fairly certain, will not start. The one that will start is my wife's Jeep Wrangler EcoDiesel, thank goodness. I drove that while Rhett drove my dually, and we used Cedar's Jeep to get my truck home. As Rhett and I drove to the gas station looking for some diesel 911, we saw 6 other diesel trucks with the hoods up. I deliberately didn't toenail any of the rafters into the horizontal beam yet because I want to make sure it's square. I can see right now that I'm probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches out of square. I'm going to ratchet the whole thing over until the boards line up with the rafters. Living in cold country can most certainly be a challenge, but I have a theory that the people that come from these small agricultural towns where they are forced to live with the best of what Mother Nature has to offer, and these people that have to get out in that weather regardless of what's going on, to take care of the thing that takes care of them, mainly their livestock. These people have a tendency to be some of the most patient, kind, loving, genuine people on planet Earth. But, again, cold country is not for everybody. I can remember my dad talking about milking cows when the milk would freeze in the can, and his hands would get so cold that he thought they would never get warm again. And I'm certain this is why he learned to love Arizona the way that he did. So tomorrow, not only do I get to continue working on this roof, getting all the plywood nailed off and getting it dried in, but I also get to work on 3 different diesels. Maybe I can get a couple of them back on the road. By the end of the week, we will be up to a whopping 38 degrees. And as much of a pain as all this snow is, we don't have enough yet. 38 degrees may be a little bit too warm. And as much snow as we've gotten thus far, we still need much, much, much more. In spite of the challenges that come with living in cold country, we wouldn't have it any other way. We love the unexpected nature that comes with living where we live, and we love the uncertainty that comes with the seasons changing. I have found over the last 6 years that I have genuinely developed a love for not only where we live, but the individual piece of ground that happens to be ours, simply because of the challenges that came from the process. It is in our best interest if the things that we're focused on are hard. I know this for fact. Here comes your New Year, New You motivational quote for the day. Actually, I've got 2 of my favorites. First, if you change nothing, nothing changes. Pretty simple. And second, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time.
We just want to take a minute. It's a brisk, 5 degrees, maybe 8. Sun's going down.
It's cold.
Yes, today is January 1st. It's the beginning of a new year. We just want to say thank you for being a part of our lives. Thank you for being with us through the good, the bad, and the ugly. And thank you for being along the journey.
Once the generator's hooked up, that's really basically it for the outside stuff until we get a lot of inside projects done, like the shutters, and probably I think we're going to get back on the shop and see if we can't get some drywall hung. So, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Okay, if all goes well, by midweek video, I should have the roof completely done. I can barely talk, it's so cold. And the tent installed, and hopefully I'm on to getting that generator fired up.